Here we have set up the solo variant for Roll for the Galaxy. You set it up like you would the base game, except for a few small changes. Let's take a look at those changes. Set up your own play area according to the standard rules for Roll for the Galaxy, except that you will not need the phase selection strip. You'll use the bot's playmat for phase selection instead. Place the bot mat in the center of the table and put one of the Roll for the Galaxy meeples on the 1 space on the cache track. Draw one homeworld tile for the bot. If this tile calls for a good to be placed on it, do so. If it calls for any other dice, move the cache token forward 1 space for each dice instead of placing it. If the bot draws the Doomed World starting planet, place the cache level at 8 as instructed. Draw 2 tiles from the bag and look at the planet sides of the tiles. Place the one with the lower value on the bot's planet stack. Then turn the other tile to its development side and place it on the bot's development tile stack. Select 1 green die and 1 white die for the bot and lay those near the mat. Now that we've taken a look at the setup changes, let's take a look at the rule changes. Begin each turn by rolling and assigning your own dice as usual. Place the die with which you wish to activate a phase on the gray square below the appropriate phase on the bot's mat, and your other dice will be in the dashed areas below the gray squares. Next, you will update the game state grid. Count the number of empty development or settlement stacks on the bot's mat and add 1. Place the token in the Explore icon row on that number. Then count the number of tiles in the development stack on the bot's mat. Place the token in the development icon row of that number. Then count the number of tiles in the planet stack on the bot's mat. Place a token in the settle icon row on that number. Then count the number of bot's production planets not containing a good. Place the token in the produce icon row of that number. Then count the number of goods in the bot's planets. Place the token in the ship icon row on that number. During this phase, if any of these totals is higher than the highest number shown in its row, place the token on the star in that row. If one or more tokens are on star spaces, the bot will not roll its green die this turn. You will rotate the die so the wild side is showing. Next, assign the bot's dice. Roll the bot's dice. Place each die in the green space above its matching icon. If the white die is above the same icon as the green die, re-roll the white die until another icon is selected. If the green die lands on its wild side, check the game state grid in the upper left of the mat. Place the die above the phase icon whose token has moved the furthest to the right. If 2 or more tokens on the game state grid are in the same column, use the one closest to the top of the grid. At the beginning of the game, this will always be the Explore icon. Next, you will be resolving the phase actions. Once all the dice have been assigned, resolve the phases which have been activated. When resolving phases, the bot always goes first, performing the actions that it has dice on. If the bot has activated a phase with either of its dice, it will execute the action on the green space of the mat. In phases where the human player has activated the phase and the bot is not, the bot will perform the action in the gray space on the mat. The human player goes after the bot, resolving phases according to the regular rules of the game. Let's take a look at the actions. Explore. A die on the green space allows the bot to draw one tile from the bag and move its cash token forward 2 spaces. The tile drawn is added to the shorter of the 2 stacks on its mat. If the 2 stacks are the same size, add the tile to the planet stack. A die on the green space on the mat performs exactly the same one as the green space, except that only 1 cash point is added. The develop action. A dice placed on either colored space in this phase allows the bot to spend cash equal to the victory point value on the top of the development of the stack and place the development in its tableau. If the bot does not have the full value of the development in cash, it may not use the develop action. Settle. This space is resolved exactly like the develop space, except that cash is spent to settle a planet. If the settled planet calls for a good to be placed on the planet, do so. If it calls for any additional dice, move the cash track forward 1 space per die. The produce action. A die placed there on the green space in this phase allows the bot to produce 1 good on each of its two empty planets, whose goods have the highest trade values. A die on the gray space produces only 1 good. Use any spare dice to represent the good on the bot's planets. The color of the good will not matter. The ship action. When a die is in the green space in this phase, the bot ships its 2 highest trade value shipping goods. The highest value goods is shipped for cash, and the other is shipped for victory points. When a die is on a gray space in this phase, the highest value good is shipped for cash. If the bot is ever supposed to trade a good but already has 10 cash points, receive the victory points instead. When consuming or earning victory points, score 2 victory points for goods shipped from a blue or brown world, and 3 victory points for goods shipped from a green or yellow world. The bot will also have some alternative actions. Sometimes the dice require the bot to perform an action it cannot perform, such as developing or settling when it doesn't have enough cash, or producing when there's no production planets, or shipping when there are no goods available to ship. When this happens, the bot takes the gray space action in the next column to the right instead of that action. If the action is also impossible to perform, continue moving to the right until a possible action is located. If a ship action is to be taken and is impossible, move to the explore action instead. By definition, the explore action is always available. Dice placed in the gray space by the human player do not take alternative actions. If the bot action on the space is not possible, the action is forfeited. Note that taking these alternative actions does not change which phases have been activated for the turn. The phase on which the dice were originally placed is still activated, and not the space whose alternative action was performed. As in the regular version of Roll for the Galaxy, the game continues until the end of the turn in which either player or the bot has placed their 12th tile, or in which all the victory point chips have been exhausted. The game is scored as usual, except the bot never scores bonuses for the 6+ tiles. Alright, what did I like? I really like the mat. It makes running the bot so simple and easy to manage. The game state grid is a wonderful mechanic to help manage the die rolls and the actions that the bot would realistically choose to activate. Also, combining the player phase selection strip with the mat makes the footprint of the game more manageable. What didn't I like? There is a possibility of a runaway bot. The alternative actions really make it feel like the bot has an advantage. The bot will always do something. You will almost never benefit from a lucky roll or activation selection that results in the bot not getting anything done. This is a good thing, but it can become overwhelming for novice players as the bot will benefit from some runaway bot syndrome. Overall, this mat variant is very well put together. Its actions seem appropriate. The pace of play stays fast. and the difficulty level is one that draws you back into the challenge. The setup and takedown time between games is relatively short, so multiple plays are always an option. It will be cruel as you learn the game, but the payoff when you figure out how to compete with the bot is very satisfying.
Hey, I'm Hans, and if you like what you saw, go ahead and click subscribe below, and good things will happen for you forever.